Hi everybody, today we are going to continue creating equations using point-slope form. So just to remind you, point-slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And to use this form, we need two things. We need the slope, which is represented by the variable m, and we need any point on the graph, so any point. x1, y1, which is right here and right here. Now, sometimes you will not be given the slope. However, you will be given 2 points on the graph. So we'll sometimes need to find our own slope using the slope formula, which remember is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And we do need 2 points to find this slope. So sometimes you'll have to find the slope first and then use point-slope form to create your equation. So this first example says create an equation in point-slope form. So for this one, we're going to leave it in point-slope form of the line that goes through the points -2, 3, and 8, -2. So here we have a really important first step. Step 1 is going to be to find the slope. There's no way to make an equation of a linear graph if we don't know what the slope is. So we're going to use our slope formula. So let's all write it again together. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm going to go and I'm going to label my coordinates x1, y1, x2, y2, so I don't make any mistakes in substituting. So our slope is going to be -2 minus 3 over 8 minus -2. So here I notice that there is a double negative in my denominator, so I'm going to take a step and rewrite this as 8 plus 2. And then I see that -2 minus 3 is -5. 8 plus 2 is 10, and if I simplify this, I get -1 over 2. So my slope is -1 over 2. So now that I have the slope, I can use my point-slope formula. So step 2 is to use point-slope form to make the equation. So let's all write the equation together. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So you'll see up here we already have x1 and y1, and then this is our m value. So now we need to substitute. So we have y minus, I see that y1 is 3, equals m, which is -1/2, times x minus, and I see that x1 is -2. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take care of these two negatives, so I'm going to rewrite it as y minus 3 equals -1/2 times x plus 2. Now, if you look at the directions, these directions said to create an equation in point-slope form. So for this example, we can actually leave our answer exactly like this. So remember, if you are not given the slope, the first thing you will need to do is find the slope. And as long as you have 2 points, you can always use that slope formula to help you do this. Once you have the slope, then you're going to use that point-slope form to create your equation. And sometimes you can leave it like this for your final answer. Sometimes we'll need to rewrite it. Okay, so let's try one more example together. So you'll see this time they ask us to create an equation where our final answer is in slope-intercept. So we need to make sure our final answer looks like this, of the line that goes through these 2 points. So remember, the first thing we always need to do is to find the slope. So let's write our slope formula again, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I'm going to label my points. Okay, so now we have m equals y2, which is 1, minus y1, which is negative 5, over x2, which is 1, minus x1, which is negative 1. I'm going to rewrite these with plus signs before I finish simplifying. And when I do that, I get 6 over 2, which is 3. So my m value is 3, and now that I have the slope, I'm ready to use point slope. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So here I am using point slope form, and up here I use the slope formula. Okay, let's do our substitution. Y minus, I can see way up here, y1 is negative 5, equals m, which is 3, times x minus x1, which I see labeled is negative 1. Now remember, this problem, they asked us to write our answer in slope-intercept, so I do need to now solve for y. So I'm going to start by taking care of my double negatives. So y plus 5 equals 3 times x plus 1. And then I'm going to distribute the 3 to the x and the 1. So 3 times x is 3x. 3 times positive 1 is positive 3. And as my last and final step, I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides to isolate y. And I get 3x minus 2. So this is my equation in slope-intercept form. All right, that is all for today's lesson. Thank you so much for watching.